Hey, this is Ann Titkemeyer. Today, I want to talk a little bit about a few things that involve my former gig at No Longer Quivering, writing for Pathos. Well, I don't want to say her name, so I'm going to call her Without a Moral Compass from now on. She's got an inflated sense of self importance and she's scrambling around trying to find content for her channel. Well, she keeps straying into my old gig. Hey, everybody. She keeps talking about Quiverfull. She talks about the Duggars, particularly the other day, the little Duggar boy got engaged at 18 years old, which is legal, but kind of young. If you have, hey, if you have no life experience, you have no business getting married. And we all see that the Duggars, they marry off young. I had to laugh because Derek Dillard said something the other day about when somebody asked why this kid was getting married at 18, he said, so he can have sex. I got to give Derek props for telling it like it is. Okay, so what did I want to talk about with Without a Moral Compass and Quiverful? Well, last night, Without a Moral Compass started talking about, good morning, everybody. She started talking about doing in a live interview with Olivia Plath's sister. Oh, and I just forgot the girl's name. I knew it right away. Lydia Grace. Lydia Grace. She was going to talk to Lydia Grace about her time recovering from Quiverfull, being a Quiverfull daughter. Look, that is a very difficult topic. I tried not to, as few times as possible, to cover Quiverfull from the aspect of the daughters because a couple of things. Number one, I had no experience with that. I was never a Quiverfull daughter. Number two, I had seen all kinds of things go down in the recovery community with the younger gen, with the second gen. The second gen kids need to be the ones to tell their stories, not older people like myself and like Without a Moral Compass. She doesn't need to be, she's actually not second gen either. She doesn't need to be. Those poor girls, they have a hard enough struggle coming out. Most of them come out. They're extremely, what does a quiverful daughter mean? I'm sorry. Let me go back and explain that. A quiverful daughter is a girl who's raised in a quiverful household. She is raised believing that her entire function in life is to get married as soon as possible and start having babies. Those are the second gen. It's a Christian cult. Quiverful is it crosses all borders. It crosses all religions. I know Catholic Quiverful. I know fundamentalist Quiverful. I know evangelical Quiverful. Quiverful believes that the most important command that God has given us is to have as many children as we can. Part of that whole Great Commission of subdue and rule the earth, be fruitful and multiply. So that's where they are. And the daughters are the ones that are raised in this. And they have no choice in the matter. Quiverful tends to homeschool. Quiverful people tend to completely isolate their children, just like veal in a box. They sometimes will let them have interactions with other Quiverful. Yeah, it is old school thinking. No birth control, no birth control, no nothing. No agency, no education, no nothing. You are absolutely right. Women have no rights in the Quiverful cult. Um, just to smile submissively and do whatever for their husband. Well, you know what I think about that. Screw that noise. That is the most ridiculous thing. If you read the roles of women in the Old Testament, in the Bible, there's Jael putting a tent peg through a man's head. There's all kinds of outrageous stuff that women have done that is praised in the Old Testament and the New Testament. So even the Proverbs 31 wife puts the whole idea of the quiverful woman, the submissive woman, to lie. And yes, the quiverful daughters are second gen. They're second gen. They've been raised in this. And I mean, you just have to look at what the Duggar kids have gone through since they've tried to, the ones that have tried to leave the cult and function on their own. You just look at Jill Duggar Dillard. She's in therapy now, which is an excellent place to start if you're a Quiverfull daughter and you're coming out. She's in therapy. That's where she should be. She needs a good therapist who understands it to help bring her out because it is such a pervasive thing in your brain. It's a way of life. Shutting those lies down is hard. It was hard for me when I finally left the Quiverfull cult, and I was not raised in it. I joined when I was in my early 30s because of my daughter's illness, and I got kind of hoodwinked, love bombed into it, which happens a lot of times with these religious cults. You start going through some type of crisis, and they all step in and love bomb you until you come into the cult. And you think that this is normal and good behavior, and it's just toxic. You end up getting sucked in harder and harder. Getting out is very difficult. Putting to lie those theology, the stupid um, lies. One of the hardest ones for me, and I was talking about this on my personal blog the other day, is putting to death the idea that women are inherently sinful. I was talking about this because I have a friend here who's going through a rough time in her marriage that started telling me about her many years of depression. I had another friend start doing the other thing to me, saying the same thing to me. I just heard this from so many women in the Quiverfull movement that they think they're horribly sinful and awful. And they go into this long, I mean, years long depression. We're talking about a season where your hormones are out of balance or you're sad for a month. We're talking about 10 years. We're talking about getting up every day and thinking that you are less than nothing, that you deserve nothing, you deserve torture, and going into that place, that is a very hard thing to get out of. Almost everybody I know comes out, talks about that they have gone into that space, that long depression. I had bouts of it, but I didn't stay there most of my Quiverfull experience. For me, I like the fact that there were boundaries, there were clear rules. You didn't go beyond certain things, even if I chafed at a lot of the ideas. So, without a moral compass, is trying to talk to this poor Lydia Grace, who was a second gen Quiverfull, processing her leaving, which she needs a therapist. She does not need to be going on a video and talking about this, particularly since it seems like this is all really just set up to bash Olivia Plath, her sister. And Olivia Plath she's on her own journey. I'm in a group with her, a group where we make fun of Jill Rodriguez on Facebook, which is kind of juvenile, but actually kind of fun sometimes. So last night I reached out to Olivia through the group and said, "Hey, are you aware that Without a Moral Compass is getting ready to interview your sister about you and everything else?" Now, Olivia and Without a Moral Compass have had interactions in the past. Without a Moral Compass sucked up to her, interviewed her, talked to her, and then turned around and bashed her like she has a tendency to do. And it really hurt Olivia. It didn't make her journey any easier. And now Olivia's dealing with season 2 of that stupid show on the Plaths. I'm, yeah, I'm concerned for her because I've seen just half an episode of one of the shows and I couldn't take anymore. Kim Plath is a piece of work. She is an example of the kind of narcissism that we see at play in these Quiverfull families. Either the women are over the top narcissistic, or they're the ones that have struggled with the years of depression because they're being told they're less than nothing. There doesn't seem to be much in the center. Either you're one or the other. Kim is one that seems like she's a narcissist, in my humble opinion. And seeing another possible narcissist try to exploit these people who are struggling, that the network is exploiting, is just disgusting and horrible in every single way. No one will be benefited by this except for Without a Moral Compass, who will make clicks and coins. And she's trying desperately everything to come back from her recent problems. Quiverfull is not, it's not a topic that you want to take lightly, make fun of, do any of that. because it hurts people. There are real people behind this that get very hurt. I would like to see everybody come out of it whole and see everybody go into good therapy, find people that will support them, help them throughout this. Because this is just one of those things. And believe it or not, we even have Quiverfull here in Costa Rica. Um, I have known a number of Quiverfull families to move here in the 3 years I've been living here. And one of the reasons because homeschool legal defense people out of Leesburg, Virginia, and Patrick Henry College tell everybody there are no laws against it here. So this is one of their places that they pick to come here in Panama. They come here, they discover very quickly homeschooling is forbidden. You cannot homeschool here. You must either have your child in a government-run school here or a private school. Homeschooling is not allowed, and everybody has to be vaccinated. No exceptions. There are no religious exceptions for any of this. Eventually, what happens is they run afoul of the law here, and they get told they have to vaccinate and enroll the children in school within 30 days, or they have to leave. Costa Rica will deport you for that. So will Panama. And it's a shame that the Quiverfull homeschool movement pushes that this is one of those places where you can go and practice your homeschooling. It is not. Now, I have had a lot of friends that have homeschooled through the years in the Quiverfull. Some of them have done outstanding jobs. I have friends that have gotten their 16-year-olds full scholarships at UVA and have done well. But I've seen more kids that have not even been able to hold a job at a place like Chick-fil-A running the register. They just don't have the skills. Their parents have failed them in every single way. I would like to see Quiverfull take responsibility and accountability for the infantile, making their children infantile, for not teaching them how to navigate the world. Jim in the background, yeah. I just got to end this with this. Jim has hired a personal trainer, okay? He struggled with his weight for years, as have I. He hired this personal trainer, and I'm kind of getting a little laugh at it because he's doing yoga and water aerobics, both things that I've done myself quite a bit. I could probably teach a water aerobics class. I still do it sometimes. Well, he's got his little personal trainer, and we'll see how it goes. He hurt himself on the second day with the personal trainer doing yoga. So I'm thinking this may not be the answer for him. But that's one nice thing about leaving Quiverfull. You no longer have to keep your mouth shut about your husband's stupid decisions when he makes them. You can speak up and say, hey, I don't think that's a good idea, and this is why. And you don't have to run around and make the world perfect for your man. I used to be guilty of that. That was my big one. I did everything for him. And we're still struggling with that. I've been out 14 years now, and I still sometimes will run around and do everything for him, even though I know he would be better served learning to do these things on his own. I struggle with that still. That's one of my out. And you're coming up behind me. Yes, why don't you wave at everybody? Everybody said hi. That's Jim. Hi. Yeah.
Working on this.
He's working on that. Yeah. Like I said, we'll see. How's your deal?
Oh, better. Do you know where the machete is?
Yeah, I've got the machete right here. Okay. Sorry, folks. We got a machete emergency.
So this is
the gardener. Yeah, keep it up, buddy.
We're gonna go cut it again.
Yeah, we're okay, that's okay. I'm almost